Hello and welcome to Vegan Cafe 21. Today we are making wheat-free multigrain bread. So let's get started. To make our wheat-free bread, we are going to use 1 cup of millet flour, 1 cup of barley flour, 1 cup quinoa flour, 1 cup of gram flour, and half a cup of rye flour. All we need to do is add all of our flours into this bowl. To our assortment of flours, we are going to add 1 packet of rapid rise instant yeast. Now this is not active dry yeast, this is instant yeast. So I'm going to open up this package and empty it out into our bowl onto our flours. We will also add 1 teaspoon of pink salt and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Grind some black pepper, about half a teaspoon, and drizzle over top 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now roll up our sleeves, mix everything. In this pan I have warm water. Now you don't want your water to be too hot because that can kill your yeast. Neither do you want it too cold. If your water is too cold, your yeast won't activate. Anywhere around 94-95 degrees Fahrenheit is good. Now we mixed everything in, all the flours and the ingredients we added. Now adding little water at a time, we are going to start preparing dough. Now you want a very wet dough for this bread. You can kind of see the texture. Now add a little more oil to the bowl and sort of move your dough around. Now we're going to let it sit in this bowl for at least 2 hours. Cover your bowl with a plate and place your bowl inside the oven. Make sure the oven is turned off. You can leave the light on just to help for our dough to rest and rise. Our dough has been resting in the oven for about 2.5 hours. So now we're ready to bake our bread. So I have a 9x5 loaf pan. I'm going to grease the bottom and the sides of it. Just put some olive oil all around. And now we are going to take our bread dough and drop it in our loaf pan. Drizzle some olive oil over it. Smooth it out a little bit. You don't want to pack it down, just gently make sure the entire surface has a coating of oil. Now we're going to cover our loaf pan again and start preheating our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it is important that you don't start preheating your oven till you have placed the dough in your loaf pan and covered it. What this does is it gives your dough time for a second rise. So now our oven has preheated to 400 degrees, and as you can see, the dough has risen a little bit, again in the time that it took for our oven to preheat. Now we'll walk this to our oven and let the baking begin. Our bread is out of the oven. It baked at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 minutes on the middle rack. After the oven turned off, we let the bread sit in the oven for 10 extra minutes with the door slightly cracked open. And now I just took it out. We are now going to invert it onto a wire rack and allow it to cool completely before we slice it. Our bread has now cooled completely, so let us begin slicing. Now this is going to be one of those dense breads because we are using some heavy flours in this. This is not your typical all-purpose or wheat flour bread. So I have toasted one of the slices to show you how it turned out. It is delicious whether you try it toasted or untoasted. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please do give it a try and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you again soon with more vegan favorites.